heart attack. Fast, fatal, heart impact. Past painful scars, in fact, I blast tasteful bars and pass. I back up my actions, fact, don't ask, grab reactions, jacked, attack with every word, then act with class as they hear me snap. I got nothing to lose, cause I fought and felt the bruise. Now I'm not the one confused, call the shots and they produce. I ain't lost, I'm finally loose. Pick a new submerged juice. I need the views to boost me to a new abuse of being used. Everybody wants a piece now, y'all can rest in peace now. You're dead to me, so peace out. Remember you're discreet now. Get ready for defeat now.
Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kyusho here, and now, before we do begin, let us give a brief little review. In the last part, we had a few things happen. Izuku and Bakugo, they were having a bit of a fight. They were testing and messing around with their powers, and they destroyed an abandoned planet. While that was happening, we had Izumi and Katsuki. These two were sitting down and talking about possibly going through a black hole and seeing where it might lead. Their powers in this universe are infinite. They control all of reality. They can do anything. So there's got to be a way out. And this black hole could be a secret door. They're not really too sure. However, while they were talking, they felt something odd. A strange shift in the universe. And the two heard a knock on the door. They saw a man in a red suit, and he left a present for them. Whenever they tried to find him or look into him, they couldn't do anything. Their powers didn't work on him. And after that happened, they both reached out and pulled Izuku and Bakugo to their location. Afterwards, they all had a bit of a chat about the man, and one of them opened the box, and they disappeared. And they found themselves back home? Now, this is where things got odd. Izuku, Bakugo, Izumi, and Katsuki. These four, they find themselves waking back up in their beds. And it's a bit strange. Deku, he heard his mother's voice for the first time in a long time. And he didn't really know how to respond. To him, reality didn't feel real. To all of them, this didn't feel real. They tried to use their powers and they didn't work. And they just tried to find out what was going on. Deku, he went out and talked to his mother. He looked into the mirror. And everything was just how it was when he left. Nothing is out of place. And for all of them, this was like that. They had no scars, and reality seems to be okay. Except for one thing. They've all been accepted into UA. And that's the strangest thing. If they're correct, the last 10 months of their lives have passed. And they haven't lived it. To them, it's been thousands of years, but here it's only been less than a year. And their parents were somewhat surprised. And Deku, he didn't really know how to bring this up to Bakugo. Much of what happened quickly started to somewhat fade. Deku's memories were somewhat starting to blur, and, well, what usually happens whenever you wake up. You remember certain things, you forget certain things in events, but there's some stuff that does stick with you. And Deku, he was very surprised. And in fact, so was everybody. They just went about their day and let it pass. And then there were the next few days. Deku, the next day, him and Bakugo were hanging out. So were Izumi and Katsuki. And the two, they weren't really too sure how to bring it up. Bakugo, he tried to ask his mom about something strange. And she just simply responded that there was nothing strange going on. Yes, Bakugo has seemed to be a bit out of it lately, but that's to be expected. He might be stressed out, he might be just, well, paranoid about it, or, well, under distress about not getting into UA. But he'll be fine. Now, there actually is Izuku, who he still is finding to be very strange. He is 15 years old again. And his life, it doesn't seem right. He can look around. He can see everything. He can feel everything. But there's something missing. Was all of it just a dream? If it was, there was one strange-ass dream. But the months, he can remember them. That's where things are starting to get weird. The time feels normal. Everything feels normal. But it doesn't make sense. What happened here? What is going on? And it's the exact same way for their counterparts. They don't understand anything. And Deku, he has a hard time bringing it up to Bakugo. Since Bakugo, he's tried talking about it, tried sorting things out in his head, but nothing seems to make sense. Now, there actually is Deku who's sitting down right now, and he is trying to think about it a lot. He wants to know exactly what to do. He's trying to think about it. He's trying to know what to really even do. But he's just so confused, trapped in his own head. And there actually is Bakugo, who does come walking up to him, ask him if he's good. Yeah, I'm just, I had a weird dream yesterday. You and me both. Really? Yeah, actually. So, what was your dream about? Uh, huh, pretty strange, pretty strange. You wouldn't believe me if I told you. Huh, sure I wouldn't. Then again, I'm not too sure if you'd believe my dream. Really? Um, your dream wouldn't happen to involve, um, what is it? It's on the tip of my tongue. I feel like I'm forgetting something. No, your dream wouldn't happen to involve aliens or being in the military, right? Um, um, something like that. And your dream, it wouldn't happen to involve being a cowboy, would it? Huh. Yeah. Funny you mentioned that. I have this dream about being attacked by this monster. You do. Yeah. It almost kills me. And I wake up whenever a man helps me. You do. Yeah. And you? Hmm. Now, Bakugo, he does have a bit of a test. He does decide to somewhat switch up his language. Him switching from Japanese to Galactic Basic. Since he wants to see if Deku does know the language. And that could be a definitive test to see if Deku he was experiencing the same thing. Deku and Bakugo are both walking. As Bakugo, he doesn't start talking, and Deku, he does immediately go to freeze and turn his head. And Bakugo just watches Deku, he does just stand there. You good? Yeah, yeah, that sounds way too familiar. Now, Deku just gonna open his mouth. And instead of Japanese, it's Galactic Basic. Huh? Deku reaching out towards his mouth. And Bakugo, he just stands there, in complete shock. It was real. All of it was fucking real. Okay. So it was real. You too? Yeah. So I'm not crazy. Holy shit. So that means our counterparts. It's real. They're both real. Oh my god, I thought I was going crazy last night. You and me both. But what happened? I don't know. It all ends with that fucking box. And we were talking about that guy. Yeah, that guy. He was strange, wasn't he? Yes, he was. But what do we do about this? We're here with our original powers. and we can't shift or move things. We're actually powerless, dude. I know. And that's a bit freaky. Now, we actually will cut over to Izumi and Katsuki, who are having a very similar conversation. Katsuki, she actually is trying to somewhat not freak herself out. However, there's just the issue. If all of it was real, that means that this guy Izumi was talking about was real. And he must have something to do with it, right? I mean, it started with a box, and then she was just home. And Izumi, she was freaking the fuck out. I mean, her mind was just spinning and racing with whatever was going on. And now, she herself is a bit more worried. And there actually is where the two, they try to talk. And while that is actually going on, they do head to a park, where the two do go to sit down on a bench, and they're trying to discuss much of what happened, and possibly even try to discuss ways to not only, well, go on with things, but maybe even see their counterparts again. Now, the four, or more or less the two, they talk. And while they do try to come to a conclusion, their male counterparts are doing the exact same thing. They eventually come to a conclusion. And they even try to do some tests. They know the only way to possibly even reach out or do that will be to try and reach out towards Reality Bender. Or really try and see if they still have powers. Anything from their previous toolkit that's been taken away. But they come to just one conclusion. They can't reach out anymore. They've been totally cut off. And if that's the case, they have been lied to. They were supposed to spend a long time in that reality. They were supposed to spend until the end of time in that reality. But they only spent a few thousand years. Granted, it was a long fucking time. But they were lied to, if that's the case. They were kicked from that reality and not told a damn thing. But then there's that man in red. If the man in red is another entity, one that Deku has seen before, and one that Izumi has possibly encountered before, then there's just one thing that's happened. That gift that was on the table, it was a way back home. But if that's the exact case, then why haven't they been told about it? Why haven't they talked to this person? Why haven't they interacted with them if that's the case? Why give them this gift? And if that's also it, why hasn't their counterpart stepped in? Why hasn't he brought them back or pulled them out of here yet? And that's where things get a bit tricky. They try to just wait. It's the only thing they can think of. He'll find them eventually. They just gotta wait. And live their normal lives, I guess? Now, they try to do this. And things, they go very strangely. In this reality, they go to UA. And up until the USJ, they find that things are normal. But the place is attacked by villains. But All Might is there. And with their experience and knowledge about combat, they are able to just take down villains. And even the Nomu. Whenever Deku and Bakugo hear about how the Nomu is indestructible and can't be killed because of his regeneration, Deku, he immediately turns and asks Momo to create a spear. And Momo is very surprised. Momo does do this request. And Deku, he immediately goes rushing in. And whenever he does so, get close enough, he immediately just goes to throw this thing as hard as he can at the Nomu. The thing flying through the air and smashing through its brain. Well, All Might was mid-combat with it. And the Nomu just collapses to the ground. And All Might just bodies the villains. Takes them all down and they're locked up. And that's the surprising thing. Bakugo is able to take out the portal villain. Take him down and get him arrested. And Aizawa finds out who it is right then and there. And things get more and more complicated. Whenever it comes time for the Forest training arc, these two have already been seen to be at their maximum. They have enough knowledge about their own quirks. They have enough knowledge about flames and combat training. And they speak a multitude of languages, which is very insane. These two, they're very suspicious. Granted, their combat abilities are top notch and they're very good tacticians, so they actually do try to help everybody else out. And then there actually is when they become pro heroes. And more time passes. It's just insane. We do actually have with their counterparts, where very similar things do happen. Except that Izumi would just crush the Nomu's brain. And, well, they become pro heroes as well. And things are strange. Right now we actually have Izuku, who he's on his lunch break 10 years later. And he does sit down on a bench, trying to think about what to do. Okay. Let's go over things again. Let's see. Deku trying to replay the events in his head, trying to go through much of what happened. Okay, so things are easy. He hasn't felt eyes on him in forever. Okay, but why is that? There's nobody watching. There's nobody listening. And there's no strange things. This is boring as fuck. That'd be what Deku just think. And we actually do have Katsuki, who she's going to sit down and think the exact same things. Except while she is sitting down, you actually have where somebody does go running past her. And she does go look towards them, thinking that they're just a regular person. And they do just go to turn and look directly at her. Hi. Hello. The person going to sit down. And Katsuki, she's very surprised. Hi. Do you want an autograph or something? Oh, no. I'm just taking a break. Okay. You going somewhere? Or are you training for something? Oh, this. No. I'm just working out. Okay, so who are you? Oh, me. I'm nobody. Really. But you are a pro hero, right? Yes, I am. Okay. So, this is very interesting. What? I said this is very interesting. Did you not catch that last part? No, I didn't. But what are you training for? Oh, that's not important. Listen, I'm going to be straight with you. This was the simplest way I can find to interact with you right now. Okay. Well, my break is almost up. Her looking down at her wrist and seeing that her watch, wait, she doesn't wear a watch. What the fuck? Oh, sorry about that. That's not normal. Wait a minute. Oh, I see you're starting to understand it. Who are you? I thought the red tracksuit would give it away. Apparently not. I'm him. Correct. Sorry about the watch. I thought that would be easier to explain it, rather than show off powers. But who are you? Okay, first off, I don't have to explain this twice. The man's snapping his fingers, and all of a sudden, Izumi, she's standing there. She was holding a pen and paper, and she did go to look up. And she does go to turn her head, looking left and right. There's her best friend. And then she does go to look to her right, and there's her counterpart just sitting down with, what, a protein bar? And then there's Bakugo. Her dropping the clipboard, or the paper, and the pencil. And staring directly at him. And the four, they're very surprised. Okay, what the fuck is going on? Right, so all four of you sit down. Now, they were just gonna go and do that. And Katsuki, she's gonna stand up and walk over to Deku. Her going to hug him and talk about how it's so good to see him again. Right, I can't believe this. But you, who are you? Nice to see you again, Izuku. I haven't seen you since you almost died in the winter. Pretty bad, wasn't it? You got beat to high hell. And dragging yourself through the snow. Not an easy feat. Especially with a broken leg. And a lot of your blood missing. So you were real. Of course I was. I mean, it wasn't easy, but I've been trying to insert myself there now and again. Who are you? You're not another version of me, are you? Oh, no, 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 no. Actually, that's what I'm here to discuss. So you're a different entity. Correct. But what is going on? Bakugo does say, as him and Izumi are both standing there. Again, sit down, Bakugo. I'm going to stand up. As the two do go to take a seat. And they're both just somewhat holding on to each other. Okay. So, you four have been through quite a lot. 15,893 years, if I'm correct? That long? Of course. I keep track. Then again, I did lose track after a while, but I just recounted. Again. Multiple times. So, again, who are you? Right. Him turning around. I'm the storyteller. Them seeing him. He's a man with red hair and his eyes. They look strange. The storyteller. Correct. Now, you want to know who I am? That's very difficult to explain, and also very simple. I have been telling stories through you, and choosing how your lives go. Our lives? So, what does that mean? You're just another version of him. The fucker in control. Actually, no. What do you mean? I created him. Wait a minute. So... Okay, hang on. This is crazy. But that makes no sense. Actually, it does. All beings, they have some sort of source. He looks for answers. He's still curious. I created him to be that way. He's done a lot throughout the universe, throughout space and time, throughout the multiverse, in fact. Where he is from, I call Earth Zero. And in Earth Zero, it was destroyed. Izumi, you have not been at Earth Zero. However, Izuku and Katsuki, their relationship started at that point. They were in a world where it was ravaged by nuclear warfare. However, there was no radiation. He got rid of it. He wanted to preserve the world and nature. He could bring back his people. However, he thought that this would be a grim reminder. A grim way to show he lost. That his powers, though they are infinite, bring somebody back, they may not be the same. That is the limit of his power, where he was still human. He knew that if he were to recreate them, they would be the exact same. They could be, but only he would know the difference. Now, what if I told you I could change his reality to make it to where even he wouldn't notice the difference? Of course, he does have a portion of my own power. That doesn't make sense. But if you're the storyteller, then... Do you have a name? I do. I go by many names. However, in the world I am from, my name does change. What do you mean? As he is a god, the version of you in control from Earth Zero, I am his god. However, there is somebody above me. There is, but that's insane. Of course it is. However, I do not know who they are. So, this just keeps going? Well, you see, there's the question I don't know how to answer. Who created me? And what created him? Or whoever is above me? Them? Or, well, anything in fact. I don't know who created my universe. And I probably never will know. In my world, I am just a man. I am human. But that's insane. That's crazy. Of course it is. However, that is exactly what it means to be human. You go through different craziness every day. You adapt to it, and you learn how to live with it. Granted, there are things you do want to change, but they are far out of our reach and scope of control. I go by Kirisho. However, somebody who does appear as me can go by another name. I could give you examples, but I am fairly certain that many of them, they already know. Besides, they do exist. In fact, there are universes that were not created by the being you will know as Kirisho. There are many others. But that doesn't make sense. Of course, it doesn't. It's not supposed to. Now, you four are going to be given a choice. I believe that that is the least I can give you. As a benefit. Along with you, Izuku and Katsuki, I do have a gift for both of you. It is going to be one that you are going to ask me about in about 2 minutes after I do discuss another subject, so I might as well get it out of the way and skip over everything else. But how do you... Because I was going to make you ask about it. Now, you four are in a bit of a conundrum. All four of you know you are from different universes. You two, Izumi and Katsuki, you exist here in this world, where All Might is female, and in Izuku and Bakugo's world, he is a male. And the genders are flipped. Now, what if I were to tell you I can allow all of you to exist in the same world? And I can actually mesh your worlds together in a way that would make sense. But that's impossible. How would you do that? I mean, you can't just do that, right? Of course I can. It's quite simple. I either make all four of you planeswalkers and give you reality-bending powers, and show you what it's like to truly be a god, or I allow you to live as normal humans. I give you the abilities to be normal. Live your lives. And Izumi, you and Bakugo, you guys can fulfill that dream of yours. But do not feel embarrassed. Of course, I do know about your two's rules. The ones you had. You hid it from your counterparts because you felt like it was not right. You didn't know what would happen if you two had a child. I'm sorry, if they what? Right. So, about that, Izuku, Katsuki, do not feel bad. Nor should you feel angry. They thought that if they had a child in that last world, they would die as a human. Normal. After about less than 100 years. And they were correct. As your powers did not work on your child to bring them back, or to make a perfect copy of them, or even restore them from, what? The remains of the old universe. Their powers would not have worked on their child. So, wait, can you... Of course I can. I will restore your family. However, I will give you a bit more of a gift. Your child, I will restore them to the age of 4. But John, he was practically a man whenever we left. Yes, he was. However, I'm giving you this gift because John would not know how to cope with being in a world this technologically advanced. Okay, but why? Why? Because I believe that after all you have been through and all you have been put through, you deserve it. You deserve to live things easy. Now, I can change the outcome of your universes, change the outcome of your realities, and I will even help fabricate a story for you where he thinks that he found what he was looking for. But he's looking for you, isn't he? Of course. I am currently running through his story. I was, but I ended it a long time ago. However, that is just the thing. That's the funniest thing about time. Well, it does run in a linear fashion, just from beginning to end. The multiverse does not. You have all experienced it. Time dilation. For you, 10 months passed in this reality. In other realities, however, few months passed, or even years and decades. So what do you think that does mean? That's insane. So you're saying that he can, yes, he'll experience his own story and end it. Then he will live his life. But how does he live his life? That is really a question you were going to ask me. Well, we're curious. He's an omnipotent God like you. I'm not omnipotent. He thinks I am. However, I made him think that. I made him think that he knows everything because he's experienced quite a lot in the universe. He just had one thing he wanted to know and learn. Who created him? Who gave him his power? I am actually answering that question at this very moment while I am here. So, he will do that, he will learn, and then he will love his ending. Then, you two will join him. Or should I say you 4, actually? What? So you're offering us godlike power? I am. You will be on a very good level. In fact, it will be nice to create goddesses for the members of gods I do have. Members of gods? Of course. There is more than a handful of you who are gods, Zuko and Izumi. In fact, if I'm counting correctly, I believe now that there is 9 or 8. It is hard to tell. One of you gave up your powers to recreate an entire universe. In fact, you recreated that version of the multiverse. But wait, that version of the multiverse? Correct. Actually, I believe that I should mention it. Many people will be interested to hear about this. Hear about what? The multiverse is wild. Many of us who tell stories, we give it control. We take control from it. There are universes where apocalypses happen, worlds end, people die, massive amounts of humanity go extinct. And there are worlds where things go completely bad. There are worlds where things go completely good. Utopias. However, those are heavily controlled. Some worlds, they are different. And others, they sink into the dark. What do you mean? Well, again, as I have said, there are a handful of gods. And one of those gods that I myself have created, they are not Izuku. One of them wants to destroy the multiverse. And that god has my power. But that's insane. You have to stop them. Well, that is just the problem. They are part of the wild multiverse now. Well, I can attempt to stop them, destroy them. I myself might put myself in danger. Their power has grown to a point. And I do have to say, Their handiwork is very insane. They go to different universes. They recruit versions of themselves who are dark, who have been wronged in many ways, and they wish to destroy much of existence. One of them wants to take the place of the strongest god. One of them wants to kill me. I do not blame them. I did forget about them long ago. And well, I do have just one request after I do finish talking to both of you. What is it? Right, sorry, the four of you. I'm a little confused for a second. But how is that possible? Again, I am human. I'm talking very fast, and I'm trying to keep everything sorted in my mind. Remembering that threw me off for a second. But you... correct. I am a man, remember that. To you I am a god. But, okay, this is all getting super confusing. Correct. Now, when the time does come, you four need to warn everybody. Warn them of what? When the multiverse is in danger. There will be an event one day, and that day, the multiverse will be put in peril. You will be given a task. Gather those you can. Gather those that do have my signature on them. Gather those who you believe will be able to help. A handful of those universes are already being eaten. Many of them have already succumbed to static. Static? Correct. They are in danger. I call it static for a reason. They have yet to fully mature, play out their stories, and I will have to remake them. What do you mean? Quite simply what I do say. Their universes, they are not intact. They are hurt. They are wounded. Parts of it have been taken away and destroyed. Some may have even gone to join the dark side. And I do not blame them. My creations try to choose what is good for them. And if they do choose to sin against me, I cannot blame them. However, I cannot interfere more in your universes than I already have. I can only create. While I can destroy, I do not like destroying. So you're just going to hand us the reins to the multiverse? Make us fix it? Why? Because it has already been done. No, it hasn't. Yes, it has. There are many threats being posed by the multiverse. Some have different interpretations. Many events happen, but no one knows how they end. They freeze. And the events that I have yet to make, the events that I have to create, they may have already been created somewhere else. But this is all confusing. There has to be another way. There isn't. Now, I will give you four this power. Whenever I do so, I will snap my fingers. And Izumi, Bakugo, you two live a happy life. I am certain that you two will be good to one another. Izuku, Katsuki, your son will return to you, and you two will both be given this power. You will be extraordinarily powerful. And in fact, I believe that both of you will live a better life. And do know, this is John, the one that you two know. However, his memories up until the age of 4, they are the same. Everything afterwards has been taken away. I cannot allow him to know that information and then know that he is young again. That will cause him great distress for a human. Are all four of you ready? Now, the four do hesitate. The being in front of them is offering them power and, well, a good deal, but the multiverse will be in danger one day? He can't just change it or fix it? What the fuck? But if that's the case, then They're being given power that they can use to help. Power they can given, power they can use to change things and give other versions of themselves good lives. But if that's the case, then a wild multiverse? They don't understand. But Izumi and Bakugo, they somewhat understand. They went to a world where reality was bleeding together with something else. Could that be what he's talking about? Could that be one of these wild realities? Okay, that's so weird. Now, the man will go to snap his fingers. And the moment he does, these four, they're strange. They feel different. And there actually is Deku. He's currently sitting at his table at home. Huh? Izuku, it's so good to see you again. Him looking to his right and seeing that his mom, she's holding John? Now, Deku's face immediately does get a light up. And he does get to somewhat jump up and run over, hugging both his son and his mother. And he's so alarmed. Izuku, calm down. I'm so sorry. Okay, calm down. What's up with the hugs? Mom, you're not gonna believe this. John, my boy. Now, in Ko, she's very surprised. And there actually is Bakugo, who she has come running out of her room and looking around. And she does immediately see John. And the two, they do both somewhat cry. It feels strange. But it's their son. They're back. He's back. Their family. It's good. But then Deku, he does feel it. He does get somewhat turn his head and reach out. And this power, it feels extraordinary. He can't just see this reality. He can see every reality in every timeline. It feels so strange. But the mental bombardment from just one reality, it's not there. But this, he's looking everywhere. He's seeing everything. This doesn't make sense. This power. If this is what it feels like to be him, then he can understand why he may have gone mad. Reality bender. He truly did have a lot to deal with. What he did to them is not unforgivable now, but it's still pretty messed up. Now, the four do try to live their lives. And eventually, Izumi and Bakugo, they do show up. They come to Izumi, or to Bakugo, Katsuki, and Deku. And they do have their own child. And it feels strange. And the four, they do sit there and discuss it, as their children would play. It seems strange. And right now, they do all sit there. And they try to debate about it. One day, they will be chosen to step in. One day, when the multiverse is in danger, they will need to reach out, call upon people to defend it, and face something from the dark universes. And that's where things get tricky. If they are to face something from the dark, if they have this extraordinary power, then shouldn't they be able to eliminate it? But if that's the case, then why is he making it sound like they can't do it? Well, I guess they'll just have to find out when the time comes, won't they? Now, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed. And have an amazing day. And I'll catch you guys in the next series.